Gambarjos everyone! Did you, viewer, want to start filming but don't have the budget? Well, this video is for you, viewer. Let's find a camera for you. In front of me are some cameras that are low budget, under $200. Let's go through them very quickly, and at the end of the video, I will let you know, viewer, what is the best camera as a low budget to start filming. So please, continue watching this video, or you will not find out what is the best camera to choose as a low budget camera to start off filming. The first camera is a Canon SX30 PowerShot. It was available to purchase in 2011. This has a Digic 4, the latest Canon's is a Digic 8. So this is a Digic 4 processor. So this is a very old Canon PowerShot. Canon still makes the PowerShot cameras. It has a flipped out screen for vlogging. The lens is not interchangeable, so whatever the lens is on the Canon PowerShot, that's the only lens that you will have. It has a flash, it has dials, buttons. It does have a removable battery, HDMI, USB port, SD card slot. The specs of the Canon PowerShot is 14.1 megapixels, 35mm lens of f2.7 and 3.5. You can record at 720p 30 frames per second and 240p at 30 frames per second. There is no 1080p on this camera. Let's test out this camera outside. Internal microphone testing audio 1, 2, 3. Image stabilization. I have to stretch out my arm very far out to be in the frame. The price for this old camera is $150. So you can find this camera on eBay. The point of this camera is that point and shoot cameras these days, even the latest ones that are coming out, or even last year's point and shoot cameras, they do a really good job. They film at 4K, they can film at 1080p, you can film slow motion, you can do a lot of things with the point and shoot camera. There's even point and shoot cameras that have a flipped out screen that you can do vlogging style of filming. Of course, the new Canon PowerShots are really good also. The second camera is a Sony HDR-AS50 action camera. Sony still continue to make action cameras. It does have a removable battery. It has a stop and start record button, power on off, LCD screen to let you know what settings you're putting in, up and down buttons and to go into the menu, micro SD. The specs of the Sony HDR-AS50 is 11.1 megapixels, 1080p at 60 frames per second and 50 frames per second, 720p at 30 frames per second and 25 frames per second. Also, you can do 4K time-lapse on this action camera. The price of this action camera is $168. You can pick this action camera pretty much anywhere, Amazon, Sony website. Of course, the latest is the best, but it's not under $200. Let's test this action camera outside. Internal microphone testing 1, 2, 3. Image stabilization. The settings that I used is 1080p at 30 frames per second, MP4, I used narrow, and zoom 1 so that you want to have a fisheye look to it. The third camera is a very cheap Chinese, Japanese action camera. It does have a colored screen on the back, micro SD, power on off, a button to go through settings up and down, And this action camera has many names. There's no specific name for this action camera. Some of these action cameras that you'll find does film at 4K. I don't know how good it is. This is not a 4K action camera. It does have a removable battery. The specs of this action camera is 12 megapixels wide angle. You can film at 1080p at 30 frames per second and 720p at 60 frames per second. The price for this specific action camera is $35. The latest of these action cameras are priced at $80 to $100. These action cameras are really cheap. Let's test out this action camera outside. Internal microphone testing 1, 2, 3. Image stabilization. The settings that I used is I filmed at 1080p FHD. You can adjust the ISO on this action camera. I adjusted it to 200 ISO. The point of action cameras is that you can take the action camera, put it in your pocket, and whenever you want to start filming, you take it out of your pocket and start filming. And action cameras, they always come in handy. You can mount these things anywhere, on the car, on anything, and they're not that expensive. The last camera is a iPhone 5C. You can pick up an iPhone 5C through Craigslist, eBay, OfferUp for $100 to $200. The specs of this phone is 8 megapixels. You can film at 1080p, 30 frames per second. The smartphone was available to purchase in 2014, so this is a very old smartphone. Let's test out this camera outside. Internal microphone testing 1, 2, 3. This iPhone 5C does not have a image stabilization. Commence the B-roll. This camera is that you viewer might have a smartphone in your pocket, or if you don't have a smartphone in your pocket, your parents, your grandparents, your brother or sister has a smartphone. Everyone these days pretty much has a smartphone. You can pick up a smartphone and start filming. These days, I consider the latest smartphones as a mirrorless camera, as a point and shoot, you can also call it. They do a really great job. Have you noticed that there's a missing port in these cameras? That missing port is a headphone jack to record audio. Internal audio is not the best on any camera. So the question is, how do you record audio? Well, you can purchase a lavalier microphone. This is a Aputure lavalier mic. There's a company that made these lavalier mics. They go by the name Deity. And Deity separated from Aputure. Now they have their own company and they specifically make microphones. And these lavalier mics are very cheap. They're around $30. And that is why I have the iPhone 5C to record the audio. You can use the manufacturer's app built in to record audio, or you can download a specific application to record audio. The app that I like to record audio on a smartphone, the app is called HiQ, and this video is not sponsored by them. You can download it on Android or Apple. And also, if you don't like lavalier mics, because of the fact that you can get tangled in them and you have to clip in specific area of the clothes, if that's a hassle, there are shotgun mics. Rode is a really good shotgun microphone, but if you're looking for an affordable microphone, I definitely recommend the Deity V Mic D2 Pro. I'm recording right now audio from the V Mic D2, their latest microphone that they recently launched that you can actually purchase. I'll link down below, is the Deity V Mic D2 Pro. Also, with that microphone, it has a smart 3.5mm headphone jack of a TRRS. What that means is, if you take that shotgun microphone and connect it to your smartphones, DSLR, anything that has a 3.5mm headphone jack, it recognizes that specific device and it adjusts to that device. And audio is really key to making your content sound really good. If your audio sucks, not a lot of people are gonna watch your content. And I'm still adjusting a shotgun microphone. It's not that close. That's why you hear a lot of feedback. I want it to where it's really close as I can get as a boom mic. Because the closer that is to the mouth, the better audio will have and there'll be less feedback. Congrats viewer, you made it to the end of the video. Now that you have a perspective of what kind of cameras are out there, you got your action cameras, you got your mirrorless cameras, you got your full frame and crop sensor DSLRs, you got your PowerShot by Canon, and you got your point and shoot cameras. The cameras that I recommend to start off filming if you're on a low budget is a point and shoot camera. There's 2 point and shoot cameras that I recommend to purchase. The first one is by Panasonic. It's called Lumix DC Z570. And the second point and shoot camera is a Canon PowerShot SX740 HS. Both of these point and shoot cameras, they shoot at 1080p and also 4K. There is a higher end of point and shoot cameras made by Sony, which is the RX100. I definitely recommend that one also, but I'm looking at a price between $400 and $500, between that price range, because that is a good price range for a low budget starting off to film. Throughout the video, you would see that I had a light on my left side. It was the Dracast light. Further on in the video, I changed my lighting. I opened up my curtain to let natural light in. And for that reason is my Dracast light stopped working. It has a indicator that the battery is fully charged, but if I turn it on and off, it doesn't work. And the dials are all the way up and tungsten, and nothing works. I'm back to square one with lighting, with all the equipment. This is the job that I do, and equipment does break, and now I have to save up to buy a new light. If you thought this video was helpful, share it. If you like this video, click the like button, click on the notification bell to get notified when there's a new video, and also subscribe. Be brave, continue filming all the content. Until next time. And also, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the Thanksgiving with your family and friends. Today is Black Friday, so there'll be definitely a lot of deals on equipment like lighting, cameras, audio equipment, etc.